Guys, I want to celebrate passing 1,000 subscribers by doing another Swiss watch review. Now, the first watch review I actually did was for a Satina, which is a Swiss watch, as many of you should know. And that got me into this whole thing. So, to celebrate passing 1,000 subscribers, which I thought would take forever, I'm going to do another Swiss watch. Now, this is a MIDO Multifort, and it is a very interesting looking watch. The brand has some interesting history, which I'm going to present to you in this video. And we're going to get a closer look at the watch, and I'm just going to run through all the features and just show you something that's a little bit quirky and a bit different. This isn't a sales pitch. I don't expect you to buy it. I just think it's fun and interesting to look at some different pieces, and I think you'll like this one. If not, let me know. You're probably going to say you hate it, but at least you watched my video. But thanks anyway. I'll see you in a sec. So in 1918, Mr. Georges Scherin, an experienced and ingenious Swiss watchmaker, founded MIDO, G. Scherin & Co. on the 11th of November. From the start, the name MIDO, from Spanish yo mido, is loosely translated as measure, and became synonymous with technical innovation and timeless designs. Now, the relevant year for the watch in this video is in 1934, which is when MIDO released the Multifort line, and that marked another milestone in the history of MIDO watches. It was actually one of the first anti-magnetic watches with a self-winding movement and built-in water and shock resistance. So the Multifort was the best-selling MIDO watch from the 30s to the 1950s. And there's a little character, the MIDO robot, and he was the ambassador and symbol of progress and robustness. The Roby is still a well-known feature today in many markets. So reading this from the MIDO website, there's an interesting bit about effectively the design of their watches somehow is inspired by architecture, and it says MIDO's philosophy combines aesthetics, authenticity and functionality. The refined, understated designs of MIDO watches endow them with a resolutely timeless quality. Beyond fashion and passing trends, MIDO watches are thus distinguished by their durability. MIDO shares these essential values with iconic and historic architectural design glories. Cutting-edge technical innovations, mechanical movements known for their excellence, and high-quality materials are the three pillars on which the watch's brand's unique expertise rests. For a century, MIDO has been a global benchmark in Swiss-made mechanical watches. So, my friends, it's time I discuss the MIDO. I have to say it in a slightly Spanish accent because MIDO, or imido, is Spanish for measure. So it looks good on this measuring pad. Just leave it there and just look at this for 10 minutes. But no, you won't get any details then about the watch. Now, the reason why I chose this watch is I didn't know much about MIDO as a brand, and I've already covered that. So there's a nice bit of history, just over 100 years, and I like their story. I like their products, and I thought, well, they're a Swiss brand. Let's check them out a little bit more detail so I can show you guys what a watch that costs this much money. I'll pop a price up here and where you can find it. And then you can gauge whether you want to buy into the brand or not. This watch may or may not be available now, but they've been making the Multifort, as you know, for decades. It's been really popular, so I don't think you'll have trouble there. So let's get some dimensions. Now, this is a reasonably big watch at 42mm. Then the thickness is, the height, as some people say, 12.1. So it's relatively slim. 2 crowns. Each crown is, let's get a measurement on there, 6.6-ish. Let's call it 7. Sounds better. Or 69, 6.9. Oh, anyway, you've got flat sapphire. This glass is so clear. My wife looked at it and said, "Where's the glass? Has it got glass on it?" I was like, that's exactly what I thought when I first got this out of the packaging. Sorry guys, I didn't do an unboxing video of this one. I was too excited. The glass, it looks so clear. Just look at it. And it helps that the dial and everything underneath is immaculate. There's no fluff or dust under there, and it's so well made. It's what you'd expect for Swiss made. It really is lovely. If you don't like this colourway, please tell me. Brown makes you feel physically sick. I'm sure I'm going to hear that. But there are other colours available. But I went for brown because if anyone's watched this channel before knows I do like my chocolate and I do like my coffee. So if anyone wants to send me gifts, I can't give my address out, but I'll work out a way of you can support the channel by sending me large quantities of chocolate. I'll get round to that. There'll be another video. Instead of me giving things away, it'd be subscribers giving away. That'd be quite nice. Subscriber giveaway. Subscribers supporting their channel by giving the YouTubers gifts that they really want. So for me, it's chocolate and coffee. I massively digress, but I've got a blend of finishes on here. Don't worry, guys. I'll get a better camera one day when I'm not so horrifically broke. Yeah, look at brushing. Maybe it's the colour. It upsets my camera. You've got brushing there, and then you've got polished finishes as well. Polished crowns, and they're signed crowns, which is nice. Seriously, I'm going to throw this camera out the window in a minute. Then, there we are. MIDO. It doesn't line up, so you read it upside down. So if you want to read MIDO, at the moment it's Odim. Odim. So yeah. 42mm, 12mm thick. That's all. I forgot to say how long it is. 48.5. It's quite a big watch. So I'm not keeping this watch, by the way. I bought this from an online retailer. I've got a good price for it, and I thought if I really like it, I'll keep it. But then I thought about it more, and I think I can't afford another watch, and I've got enough Swiss watches. And I'm not bragging. That sounds really bad. I wanted to just take a look at a MIDO. So it's got diver extension, and it's got an adjustable rubber strap. So you basically cut it. So that's why I'm not sizing this to my wrist, because I'm like, oh, just for a video, I've chopped up a beautiful rubber strap on a £300 or £400 watch just so I can do a video on YouTube. It ain't happening. Sorry, guys. But you get the idea. Quite gaudy colours, to be honest. But then I like it from looking at it up the top. But 7-inch wrist. It doesn't sit too long. It's got nice curved lugs. It sits well on the wrist. It does. It's really good. And it's light. 118 grams. That's light. And that's before you start cutting any bits off of it. This is for an automatic dive watch. That's light. So I know it would weigh a lot more on a bracelet. But I think it's good on rubber because, you know, it's a dive watch. It's meant to go in the water. So I'm going to show you what these crowns do. They're both screw down. And then when it's popped, and the screw down action is really nice, very smooth. And then you've got bi-directional movement on the bezel, internal bezel. And that's what you set for your dive time. Then this is your crown for time and hand winding, etc., etc. And then see, I'm hand winding it. This is a Swiss movement. It's like the Swiss Matic. It's a universally shared movement amongst many Swiss watch brands, and it's an 80-hour power reserve. It has a silicone mainspring, and that effectively means it's more efficient at storing power. And the beautiful thing about this movement is they've made an effort with the rotor. It's got some Geneva stripes on there. If you want to know what a Geneva stripe is, that's a Geneva stripe. And that's kind of a Geneva stripe going on the dial as well, which is quite funky. Geneva striped chocolate. So this is 80 hour. It says caliber 80. That means 80-hour power reserve. So that's a long time. A lot of watches, it's 40-ish hours, 40 to 50. So significantly longer. So yeah, 200-meter dive resistance, and you've got the day-date complication as well. So I want to pop up here the next lovely little touch that they've got on this watch, and that is the Loom. So as you can see, the Loom is really nice. It's strong. It charges up really quick, and it lasts a long time. Really like it. So this is a well-proportioned watch, I must say. It's got lots of nice details. The rubber is lovely and soft, good quality. I like the fact that it's even got MIDO written on there, where you can obviously read it all the time. Unless you've got translucent wrists. And then you've got proper dive features, like you've got the security clasp, which is what you should have on a dive strap, really. Then micro adjusts, not many, that's for sure. Then you do have the diver's release extension. It's got a weird feel to it though. It's not like amazing. I have felt better. I think the one on the Pagani design's better. So kudos to you, Pagani design. Oh, and this bit's milled as well. That's good. Yeah, I think it's stainless steel, but this is like a PVD coating. I couldn't find anywhere to say how this has actually been finished, treated. So it's nice that it's got brushed and polished. And the colours go really well with the brown, obviously. This is a very legible watch. I mean, you think this is meant to be a dive watch, and it has all the features of a dive watch, but it's a little bit dressier because of the nice classy finishing. It's polished and brushed and unusual colour. Then it's unusual take on an ordinary tool watch. I'd say it's definitely more for the eccentric and quirky. That's probably why I was drawn to it, because I definitely fit in that category. So I'm really impressed with it. I think the finishing on the movement's beautiful. I like the loom, I like the functionality, I like the fact it is a tool watch. And it's a bit classy as well. It's got everything that you touch and feel and move and fiddle with. It's really nicely done. But I wish these lined up. I'm not quite so sure. The clasp is pretty cheap and nasty. And I'm annoyed that I had to look up how you say MIDO. I always say MIDO, but it is MIDO. So you got to make sure when you're talking about your watch to someone, you're saying it right. So here's my MIDO. It's like, what's a MIDO? MIDO. If you say it, yeah, you've got to do it with a Spanish accent. MIDO. It just sounds better. But it's a Swiss watch, so why did they choose a Spanish word? I don't know. That's quite interesting. Maybe I need to do more research on that. Why did the Swiss watchmaker choose a Spanish word? But it adds to the character. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, because I feel I've covered enough. I don't want to spend 5,000 years talking about this watch, as much as I'd like to. This is quirky and interesting, and I hope it's introduced you a little bit to backstory behind MIDO and the brand and what their design ethos is. And check out other watches in their range. Go on their website, see if you can find a bargain. I found a bargain. And have a look so you can get a nice Swiss watch with a decent Swiss movement. It's got loads of good features. Sapphire with AR coating and a quirky bezel, 2 crowns, 200 meter water resist, nice rubber. Great value for money, I'd say. So I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. And if you have, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you on many other videos. So bye for now.